Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm recording this video on Wednesday afternoon. I actually went out for my weekly lunch date with my wife, and we left here probably around 11:30 or so in the morning. And I just got back. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon or so. And the reason it took so long is because, let me tell you a quick story. My truck wouldn't start. I had to go to Costco. My wife went to pick up my daughter from school, and I had to go to Costco to pick up some eggs and orange juice and stuff like that. And when I came back out, my truck wouldn't start. Always have a small toolkit in your truck, because my truck would not start at all. It wasn't getting any power whatsoever. So I opened the hood, obviously took a look at the battery first, because that's probably what it was, and this is what it was. My battery wires were loose and a little bit corroded, so I went ahead and took it apart and cleaned it off, put it back together nice and tight, started right up. So always have a small toolkit in your vehicle, because you just never know. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to end badly. And it's going to end badly in one of two ways. So the reason I told you the story of me going on a lunch date and all that kind of stuff is because when I left here, I still hadn't looked at the markets for today. So I didn't know what was going on. And by the way, gasoline here in the last day has gone up by like $1. Like in the last day. Out in town, not at Costco. I'm wondering what's going on. So that's what got me to take a look at the markets real quick. I don't think that gasoline is going up here because of the markets. I don't think it's going up anywhere else significantly in the country. But anyways, I digress. So I come home and I take a look at the markets a few minutes ago. And I'm like, holy smokes. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it. Not that the Dow Jones went up as much as it did, but that the 10-year bond came down as much as it did. When I took a look at it, I'm not sure what it is right now, but I think it was like 25 or 30 basis points lower, like in one day. That is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. When I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness. So then I started looking around. What's going on? Well, then I figured out, or found out by looking around the internet, that the Bank of England restarted quantitative easing. Remember, you all, when I told you that the central banks had one of two options. They can either tighten and we would enter into a deflationary depression, meaning that there's just not enough money in the system, so the money's being drawn out. That's when they're doing quantitative tightening. Or that they can just reverse course and that we will inflate. Well, the Bank of England just started quantitative easing again. Now, they said, from what I understand, that it's a temporary fix because people are losing too much money on their pensions. Ladies and gentlemen, they have no choice. We are going to lose, and when I say we, I mean the working class, right? Those people that do have 401ks, pensions and stuff. Do you think that the wealthy have pensions? No. Their millions of dollars or pounds or yen or yuan or whatever it is, whatever country you live in, is invested in assets. Assets that go up with inflation. That's what makes the wealthy wealthiest, that their wealth is invested in assets. We, the working class, our wealth is invested in a house, a car, a savings account. If you're lucky enough to have a savings account, measly 401k, IRA, pension, what be it. And those are all denominated in fiat currency. All right, ladies and gentlemen, they don't go up or down with inflation. Inflation doesn't make your dollars worth more. It makes them worth less. Deflation may make the value of the dollar worth more. However, look at what's happening here in the United States. We're going through somewhat of a deflationary crisis right now because of the quantitative tightening that we are doing now. All right, but is the price of gas still high? Is the price of food still high? Is the price of housing still high? The working man, the working woman will not win. It doesn't matter what the Federal Reserve does. You have to prepare for this crash that's coming. Don't ask me when. All I know is that we've been crashing for years. It's just at a slow pace, but it will accelerate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have to protect yourselves. You have to get prepared the best that you can. I am not a financial advisor, but this is what I would tell my brother if he asked me. What should I do with my excess money? Get prepped as best as you can. Get that pantry as full as you possibly can for as long as you possibly can. Get all of the things that you know you're going to need for the next several years, because, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to last several years. All right? We are going to enter either into one of two things. one of two things, all right? Timestamp this video. I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a professional economist, but I can tell you right now, we will enter into one of two things. One will be a deflationary depression, just like in the Great Depression, right? It will be that if the Federal Reserve continues to tighten, continues to increase interest rates, continues to sell off its balance sheet, we will enter into a deflationary depression. People will lose everything, all right? Now, that's one scenario. The other scenario is going to be we will enter into a hyperinflationary crisis. You can also call it a depression if you want, because it'll be just as bad. So, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter what the Federal Reserve does. They are caught between a rock and a hard place. And I'm putting this out there because please do your own research. Please understand that your dollar bills will not be worth the same this time next year than what they are worth now. We have been hoodwinked. We have been hoodwinked and strung along, at least those of us that don't know what's going on, that can't see what's going on, and is just hoping and praying that if they don't look at their 401k statement, if they don't look at their pension, if they don't look at this or that everything will just be okay. Well, ask yourself this question. Let's say you're 60 years old or so. Do you have 25 years to wait for the markets to go back up? I would tell my brother, get as much stuff as you can for as long as you can. Whatever excess wealth you have, get it out of the banks and turn it into real stuff. You can turn it into whatever you want that brings value to your life, right? We're all different. If you have enough excess wealth, you know already that I'm going to tell you, get gold, get silver. In the last 5,000 years, gold and silver has always been a form of trading value that has always been used, right? Gold and silver has always been money, and it has always been used and accepted in the last 5,000 years. What do you think is different about it today? We are human beings, and we've been making the same mistakes for millennia, and we will continue to make the same mistakes. So please, learn from history. Learn from history, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is going to go down. And like I said, don't ask me when, but can you not see what's going on? And what brought me about doing this video was that I've never seen the 10-year just drop 25 basis points. It was either 25 or 30, I don't remember. But let's say 25 basis points in one day. That is like such an incredible move. Ladies and gentlemen, they are setting us up so that you can be poor for the rest of your lives, and not only you, but your children as well. So protect yourselves. If you protect yourselves, you can make it through this. But if you don't, if you just go along and try to get along, you will end up like everyone else who is living in a normalcy bias, and they think everything is just going to be all right. You know, the first of the month is coming up here in a few days, and guess what I'm going to be doing? I could care less what the price of gold or silver is. I'm going to be going and doing my dollar cost averaging. And yes, some people may say, but AP, the price of gold went up. That is nothing, ladies and gentlemen. That is nothing. I could care less. If the price of gold would have gone up by $500, I could care less. You know why? Because most Americans, most people around the world don't own any gold. They don't own any silver. I think like 60 or 70% of young adults in the United States have never even touched or held a silver coin. They don't know what it is. People are starting to wake up. Thank you very much, Wall Street Silver. Wall Street Silver is great at putting the word out and getting the younger generation to understand what real money is. And that is what's going to save you. And please spare me the you can't eat silver, okay? Just ask every country that's ever gone through a hyperinflationary crisis and ask them what their safe haven was. Ask Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, when they went through their hyperinflationary crisis, at least one that was about a decade ago, I know they're going through another one right now, but what were they doing in Zimbabwe when they went through their hyperinflationary crisis? You know what they were doing? They were digging ditches in their backyards, mining gold, and hoping to get 1/10 of a gram of gold per day, which was the equivalent of about 1 pint, I think it was 1 pint or 1 quart of wheat. They actually went and traded 1/10 of a gram of gold for, I think it was a quart of wheat. That's what they were doing. Gold kept them fed. We talked about Venezuela before, how people were using gold jewelry, gold coins, and shaving off little pieces of gold in order to get a haircut, in order to buy some groceries. It's been used forever. Why is it that big central banks and governments are hoarding gold? Why is it that they are buying gold at the fastest pace that they've been buying it for, I think, over a decade now? I think it's like 11 years or something like that. Why is it, if it is such a barbarous relic, why is it that banks and governments own it? You know why? Because they don't want you to own it. Why? Because it's real money. Same thing with silver, and I would say that silver is even better. All right, when you look at the big picture, silver, in my opinion, is even better, but I think that it's good to be diversified in anything. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to end good. Either way, it's going to end in one of two ways: deflationary or inflationary. And both are going to be terrible. All right, so protect yourselves, because what's going on in the markets, it doesn't matter. What's going on in the markets, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter. What matters is this: are you protecting yourself? You always hear people talking about, well, this is going on because of this or because of that. Does it really matter to you? Why? We already know that our government is not, we already know that our government is crooked. We already know that our government is terrible, that they will forsake you. So why does it matter why it's happening? What matters is are you preparing? Prepare yourselves for the inevitable. And the inevitable is this, ladies and gentlemen. It is that the system will collapse. What happens next? I don't know. But the system will collapse one way or another. When? I don't know. But it will. I think it will be sooner than later. They cannot continue this game forever. Maybe they are hoping that there is some kind of alien invasion. Right? Maybe they are hoping that there is some kind of an invasion like that. Maybe they are hoping that there is some kind of a black swan, that something terrible happens where it will keep the people's minds out of what they're doing. What they are doing, ladies and gentlemen, is a crime against humanity. They've been doing it for decades, and they're going to continue to do it until the people wake up. And the more people that are prepared, the more people that are awake, the better that good can fight against evil. In the end, good will win. But how much pain do you want to go through in order to win? Would you rather win being able to have all of the things that you need in order to live a standard of living that is, somewhat familiar to your family than what it is now? Or do you want to win living a low standard of living, scraping by, living hand to mouth? We will win in the end. But how much suffering do you want to do? Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, short video. I'm not even sure if I'll be able to post this tonight because I have some other stuff to do. I might post it very early Thursday morning. I hope that you are getting prepared, because if you're not getting prepared, when this thing finally pops, when this balloon finally pops, man, you are in for a whole lot of pain. Having said that, have a great day. Not trying to ruin your day, trying to allow you, and I don't even want to say allow you to understand from my perspective, but allow you to be motivated to go out there and look at what's going on. If you can't see this, research it. You will find it. But don't lie to yourself and tell yourself that everything's going to be okay. Have a great day, and God bless every one of you.